Hello, and welcome to the Old Farm Bus Podcast. This is the back of the bus session.
Hello and welcome to the Old Farm Bus, back at the bus sessions. We have done this before. We've been there. We had two guests a minute ago. We had the wonderful Jack from Stingray and the J. Is it Lyon-Walker?
Lyon-Walker, yeah.
Such a cool name, man.
Yeah.
I really need to have that name in my life. And we also had Arlo Kit, Lyon-Walker.
That's the one.
And that's Jack's baby, but Arlo
is here.
He is here.
He's still
He's
here.
just behind here, but he was getting a little bit shy of the camera, I think.
He was, bless him.
He's going to be pretty good in front of a camera soon enough.
He did all right, didn't he? He was doing all right.
And he just thought, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
I'm not ready for fame yet. So, Jack, I mean, we've got so many avenues we could go down.
Of course.
You've played on here before, Stingray and the J. It was literally, and I really don't over-exaggerate when I say this, one of the best nights of my life. You're probably my favourite band. It's just weird, funky, crazy, rapping, singing, everything.
Yeah.
And I've never seen anything like that. And to get you on the bus in such close, like, beautiful space, and that vibe with like 20 people, it was something other.
Yeah, it was a special night. Mate, no, it was an honour to be a part of it. Like, what are you doing in this setup? It was how could we not pass it up? So.
And maybe in this podcast we will jump down the music line, but
yes,
because we've got Arlo here, and I'm all feeling a little bit like fathery at the minute.
A bit broody.
Yeah, a bit broody. And I'm having my own soon. Like, I've got 3 months, and my beautiful Chris is on here at the minute.
Yeah, she's keeping Arlo entertained.
She's doing great. Should we jump into fatherhood?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, man. Okay, where do I start? Where
do you want to start? I've got it all, mate. What do you want to know?
I mean, what do you think are things that would be good to know for me before? Like, you didn't think of these questions before, and now you've discovered, oh, this is actually quite important.
Well, I mean, I know we spoke about it before. Like when I first got here, the to put it simply, like, the best advice I got was don't take any advice, because
I love that, man.
because every experience, every kind of baby, and even from the birth through to from like kind of the pregnancy through to the birth, it's so unique and different. So you've just got to kind of try and just ride with it and go with it. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, you'll get advice about, I tried this and this worked, or I did this and this worked, but that's it's not just like one rule for everyone. Like, you know what I mean? You've got to find your way and through it.
I can relate it to like when I'm at the gym.
Yeah.
Everyone always says, like, whatever works for you is what works.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's sort of like there's a lot of Instagram pages out there now that are like, here is the diet plan of all diet plans, or here is the training regime of all training regimes.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but that person's got this body type, he's got this genetic build, he's got these sort of circumstances. So there's never just one plan for all plans. It's like whatever works in your home.
Absolutely, yeah. And
beautiful, man. We can leave it now.
That's what. I mean, to be fair, on the surface, that sounds terrible. Just like one bit of advice. Yeah, don't take any advice. Yeah. Sorted, yeah, thanks.
No, I'm sure there's something deep within that, though.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like I said, it's you get people, you know, having a support system is important, and having those people, especially like when we had Arlo, the midwives around us were incredible, and the advice we got in those first couple of days of when Arlo was here, when he came to the world, was advice that we're still using now. Do you know what I mean? 4 months in. So you know, to some extent, yeah, don't take any advice, but, you know, I think during the pregnancy and things like that, you know, you've just got to support each other. Do you know what I mean? Having, you know, whether you're with someone, whether you're not someone, having that support system is so important, just to keep you like mentally sane. Do you know what I mean? Because, you know, like, if Molly had her struggles and with kind of sickness and pains, and then you have all those kind of other worries and anxieties of like how you're going to be as parents. So it's just kind of like, well, I mean, we did hypnobirthing, so it's all about kind of like positive affirmations. So kind of just trying to keep your mind strong, because at the end of the day, your mind controls your body. Like, do you know what I mean? If your mind is strong, then your body will just do the business.
How long was Moll doing that for? Like, was she doing that way prior to birth? And
what, the hypnobirth thing?
Yeah, did she have to practice that sort of strong positive attitude before?
Yeah. I mean, it was for both of us. I mean, just a heads up. It's more. It's just as important for the birth partner it is for the actual for the woman. So, you know, for me, it was really important to kind of learn about the breathing techniques. So you have like your up breathing and your down breathing when she's in labour, the positive affirmations. So like we bought these lovely cards to kind of put around the house. You know, because obviously it's a struggle, and when you get close to your birth, you know, you're in a lot more pain, but you're one step closer to meeting your baby. And when you put it into that mindset, it's like, well, that's actually a beautiful thing, isn't it? So just having those kind of images and those little kind of quotes and signs around the house just kept the mind strong. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So
I mean, how is that though? Because say for an addict or somebody like that, where it's like you've got all the slogans and the jargon and the quotes and the affirmations and the ideas are also important, but then when like something actually happens in life, a big thing, like it's, for an addict or somebody, they can just slip straight into going to drugs, let's say. So in terms of like when you've got all this building up and then the birth's happening and the body's going through extreme everything, can you get into that place? Does it work?
It's hard, and you've got to roll with it.
I've just made like addicts and birthing. You know what I mean.
I do know what you mean. No, of course. No, I do know what you mean, because like for example, for the birth, we had a birth plan. So we was like, right. So because Molly was low risk, we said, we would like a birthing suite. We would like a water birth. Blah 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 blah. But when we got there, her contractions weren't regular, so we had to put her on. Like had to basically inject hormones into her to kind of quick up the process, which means that because she needed doctor supervision, we couldn't go into those birth suites, so we couldn't actually have the birth that we wanted. She still had a natural birth, but she wrote up a beautiful. I mean, even the midwife said it was beautiful the way, because she's very creative, my wife, like, and even the way she kind of drew a birth plan up, it was very lovely, and her handwriting was amazing and things like that. But it all went out the window because at the end of the day, you want to have these things, but the goal is to deliver your baby safely. So if we were told, right, Molly, you know, your contractions aren't going quick enough, therefore we advise you to do this, then you got to assess it. I mean, they tell you again, hypnobirthing, I can't remember what it was, but it's like basically giving you 5 steps of like the benefits, the risks, you like your instinct of like what you feel, and then what happens if you do nothing. So like kind of, so it gives you kind of a guide of how to process each decision that you're making, because it will never go to plan. You know, you have your idea of how it's going to go, but it will never go like that. So it's just trying to guide yourself through it. Do you know what I mean?
I learnt this, and I'll equate it to boxing now. But I remember in my boxing days, an amateur fighter, and like I was 14 when I started going to like practice, and then my first actual fight was 16. It might have been 17. And again, built 4 years of planning it, like in my head, always training, always ready. We had like, I was really good on pads. Like if somebody came to watch, everyone, like all the older blokes were like, he's really good, isn't he, on pads? And we just had it ready. So when I got to the fight day, I was like, this is perfect. Got there, and I was 17, so I was able to fight men essentially. And I was against a 27-year-old ex-Marine RAF lad. So we didn't plan for that. So in the moment, I remember getting in the ring, and everything we'd planned for years just went out the window. And I was just like, swing. I did really well, and I was really proud of myself. But like what you're saying there, doesn't matter how long down the process you go, how much you have in your mind about it, when you've built up a reality that isn't, you can never get it spot on.
It's like the famous saying in boxing, everyone's got a game plan until they get punched in the face. That's what it, do you know what I mean? And it's almost the same. It does have a correlation with birth because you have a birth plan, but when you're in it, you've just got to, you know what I mean? You've just got to go. And the thing is, the doctors and the midwives, they have the best advice. Like,
just
you know what I mean? You've got to trust them. Do you know what I mean? They know what they're doing. So, because again, you hear these people being like, no, I want a natural birth. I don't want any drugs. Blah blah blah. But like the midwife's going, I understand that, but to deliver this baby safely, we need to speed it up, or we need to do this. And so, I mean, to be fair though, Molly did the whole birth on just gas and air, which was just crazy. Phenomenal. I mean, honestly, I was just like in awe. Do you know what I mean?
Have you been to Alton Towers?
Do you know, I've never been to Alton Towers. I know. I'm quite embarrassed by that fact.
Have you been on a roller coaster before?
I haven't. Yes.
On terms of roller coaster, like
yes.
How big was this ride for you? The birth moment, like was it up, down, all over the shop?
Yeah. It's like, do you know when you see those kind of roller coasters that look like a scribble? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Up, down.
I've been on a few
do you know
of
what I mean?
them,
It's just, that was what it was. It's just a roller coaster of emotions.
Wow.
That's pretty much what it is. I mean, as cliche as it sounds, but it genuinely is. Like, it's just.
Didn't the Red Hot Chili Peppers sing about this? I've said it, but was it Life is Like a Roller Coaster?
Yeah.
Some Beavis and Butthead, isn't it? Great film.
But it's true. Like, it's, but it, an incredible experience, one that I'm very, very excited for you to go through, and you'll have your own stories to tell.
How long was the process, man? Like, how long were you?
I mean, it was so Molly's waters broke Friday morning about 4:00 in the morning. Mm-hmm. We went into the hospital. They had a look. They said, everything seems fine. Go back home. If your surges don't develop within 24 hours, come back tomorrow. So anyway, she was having them every now and again, but not to a point of, because basically when you have three we have to call them surges in hypnobirthing, not contractions, but when you have like 3 contractions in 10 minutes, then that means you're in established labour. That means you need to go to the hospital. They didn't happen, but 24 hours passed, because from when your waters break, you have like a window basically that you need to have the baby. So then we went into the hospital next day, on Saturday morning, and then we waited till about maybe like 4:00 in the afternoon, Saturday afternoon, 4:00, and then again no really developments on the contraction, so that's when they gave her the hormones. And then within half an hour it was like boom, here we go, like it was full on, like we were in it for the long haul. And then Arlo came just after midnight on Saturday night, so about 11:30.
Beautiful, man. And you were the one that had to look after him for a while, weren't you?
So
what was that one-to-one like, man?
I mean, again, I know we spoke about this, but that for me, that was the moment. That was the best moment. That was like the most overwhelming moment of him coming out. Yeah, because I know my brother actually told me this. It's the same thing happened with my brother. When he had his boy, because his wife had to have surgery, Molly had to have surgery as well, so what they do is they just go boom, there you go, and you're just there with a baby. You're like, oh my god. And he was crying and then I said, Arlo, and I just spoke to him, and he instantly he stopped crying and looked at me and knew who I was, because he heard that voice.
Now, right? But
it was crazy. I was like, whoa! But it makes sense because obviously you'll do the same as like you talk to them you talk to them when they're in the womb, and you kind of introduce yourself. I'm your dad, and so he knows. So they know that voice. They recognise that voice. So that moment was like, whoa!
I bet my kid's going to be so bored of my voice. I bet she's so bored already. Like, why, Dad? Shut up.
No, but you've got an amazing imagination. Like, you're going to be such a good dad. It's going to be amazing.
So playful, man. And then what about getting home? Like, just with Arlo there, and you're like, this is my life now. This is genuinely a new part of my life. Was that really quite an emotional moment for you?
Yeah, it was most kind of like taken to, the drive home. So that again, that's a moment. I was, and it's true, you're driving like 20 miles. I was driving like 20 miles an hour on a 40 road, just like
do you know what's going to be funny in this podcast as well? Like, people will think that I've put in baby noises to fit the scene. We have got Arlo in here, but I think this really makes for a beautiful podcast in
I
here
know,
too.
I
It's
know.
like-
It's nice to hear his voice.
Little
Yeah.
Arlo's like, yeah, that was me, Dad. So yeah, you're in the car, you're 20 miles an
20
hour.
miles an hour.
Do you know what made me really think of that car journey home? Is the Will Smith song, Just the Two of Us.
Yes.
Do you know when somebody like makes the perfect song? That song, Just the Two of Us, like the way he describes parenthood and like first night he met his son and like
Yeah.
didn't know what to do, like that's where I thought, oh yeah, the drive home and things was in that song. But
yeah, well, that was actually Bill Withers was the original.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and like Bill, I mean, yeah, Bill Withers is just, I mean, he was just like one of the best songwriters there
Yeah.
ever was. So,
He
but yeah,
really
no,
is.
it's true. Yeah, it's
Rest in peace, Bill.
I know, man.
That was a sad day.
That was a very sad day. Yeah, I actually watched one of his like, he did like a gig for the BBC.
Yeah.
In the 70s, and I watched that on YouTube the other day, and I was like, whoa, like
Did
his
you watch
voice.
the documentary Still Bill?
No, I haven't seen that
Please,
yet.
mate, I think it's still on Netflix, but
because he was quite old.
Because
Because he was quite old when he got into the music industry. I think he was like in his mid-30s. I'm not saying no, he's still young, but I think he didn't start kind of breaking through till he was a little bit older. I think that's true. I'm not sure.
It is true, yeah. I think he came out of the army, you know. Like,
Yeah.
I don't quote me on this now because I watched it a while back, this documentary. But my favourite bit in that documentary was when everyone started calling him a sellout. But he was like, well, if you've got like a shop that's selling settees,
Yeah.
like, what do you want in the front of your shop? Sold out. Me selling out means he's just selling all the like tickets. He's got people at his events. Everyone wants to come and see him. I've
Yeah.
sold out to that. Like, and
Yeah.
it was just like a really nice way of seeing it, because everyone sees this sellout point. And I understand the other connotation of it, like where they're just doing it for money, just doing it for that. But
course.
he was never that. His lyricism, his music was all love.
Yeah, it's from the heart,
Like,
do you know what I mean?
proper from the heart.
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
So he, like him, Sam Cooke, that era, the 60s style, like doing it with love all infused.
Yeah.
That's not selling out. That was what that time wanted. That was in
Yeah.
that time needed that.
You're always going to get the haters, aren't you? Like, whenever you're doing well or succeeding, there's always going to be those people that try and drag you down. And again, you've just got to ride with it. I mean, he wouldn't have cared. Like,
Nah,
he's like one of the
so
most prolific songwriters of all time.
I'll make sure you watch that
I
documentary.
will.
It's
Yeah,
so
I need to.
good,
I need
man.
to watch it. Yeah, for sure.
So then you've got Arlo back home.
Yes.
You're all cozied up.
Yeah.
Did you watch a film? Did you just go, Arlo, this is this is the bed. This is where you're going to be.
Well, we had our so we had my mother and dad-in-law, so Molly's mum and dad.
Okay.
Who met us there. And they like made us a fry up,
Nice,
so that we had like,
nice.
and it was just the best fry I've ever had in my life. And then I think we went and had a nap. But because bearing in mind, there's a funny story. So on the Sunday, Molly, when the day after Arlo was born, Molly was like, Jack, go, because the hospital's only like round the corner. So Molly was like, Jack, go home and have a bath and like just get yourself, just chill for a bit. So I was like, okay, cool. Anyway, like, bearing in mind I was in the same clothes as when Arlo was born, so I had like blood on me, like sweat,
Right,
tears.
yeah.
I remember just walking up the terrace and just being like, and I saw Tom, Sting.
wow.
From Sting. I was
Yeah,
so because he obviously lives 2 doors down from me now,
Right,
which is amazing. And he
wow.
was like, "You all right, mate?" I was like, yeah, I'm fine. Like just completely running on adrenaline. I hadn't slept in like 3 days, and he was just like, "Do you want to come in for a cup of tea?" I was like, "Yeah, sound." I remember just sitting like just on his sofa, just like staring at a wall, going like. He goes, "Are you alright with me?" I said, "Yeah, fine, yeah," and just kind of just told him the story of the
Wow,
birth.
wow.
But and he looked at me, and it was really funny. They were both just like him and his girlfriend Freya were just laughing at me, just like bloody hell. And I was like, yeah, and that was a funny story. That was crazy. And then I went home, got ready, and went back. But yeah, like I was saying, when we got back, I think we had a nap. I think because Arlo was sleeping. I think we were just like, we're going to take this moment. Went upstairs, had like maybe an hour and a half nap, and it was like the best nap
Yes, mate.
of my life. And then
I've got this image in my head, like I can only equate that to like being at a festival for 3 days and
Yeah.
you get home and you're just like, hang on a minute, what just happened?
Yeah.
But I bet that's like magnified by about 1 million times.
Yeah.
The whole baby situation.
Especially because like it's not only you're not having sleep, but just the pure adrenaline and the
what
and
next as well? Like
yeah.
after a festival, it's like right back to work.
Back to work,
Monday.
yeah.
But this is like a whole different scale of like right, this is a thing now.
And you forget it as well because you have the whole experience of birth and I don't want to say stressful, but in a sense, yeah, it's a very stressful, it takes up a lot of your energy, and then you get home, you're like, oh my God, we've done it. But then you completely forget, oh, we actually have to look after it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? and then you have,
here we go,
yeah, it's not over. So you get thrusted into that, and then it's just, again, like I was saying, you just got to, you ride with it. And but he's amazing. Like, he was amazing.
Yeah.
Like first week was hard. Week, you know, you just take, it's like 2-3 hour stints. Do you know what I mean? Like, Molly was like, you have a sleep, I'll look after him. You have a sleep. It was like taking it in turns. And then we just, it's just got him into like a routine. And now, I mean, very, very fortunate, very lucky, count lucky stars. He sleeps every night from about 8 at night to about 7 in the morning.
Straight through. Wow, that's going to be a healthy baby, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how he did it. We were just like, I remember one morning he slept for like 12 hours. And they say you're meant to wake him up every 4 or 5 hours, but at the end of the day, like, he was probably maybe like a month or 2 in, so it was kind of at that point where
I've had loads
he could
of
sleep.
friends that have just had babies, and they're like, don't do the waking up
No,
thing.
God,
like,
no.
just when they sleep, they sleep. When they don't, they don't.
Exactly.
But let them do their thing.
And we would just stay out, like wake up in the morning, having a full 8-9 hours sleep, and being like, oh my God, like, this is amazing.
That's beautiful.
So like, it's tough, and and you have your ups and downs, but the reward is something else.
We're 4 months in now. Then
we are 4 months in. Yes.
The before thinking and the now thinking, like, what discoveries have you had with the 4 months in period to like what you thought was going to happen?
Well, I didn't think that obviously Corona was going to happen.
Wow, good point.
So that was a bit of a game changer.
Yeah, of course,
so having a baby in lockdown was brought its own challenges, but again, the benefits of it was that I pretty much have not left his side. I mean, I'm back at work now. Went back to work last week, but I didn't leave his side for the first 5 months of his life. And to me, like, I mean, I will never get that opportunity again. And that, it was so precious to have that time with him. Just spend every day with him, every second of the day with him, just watching him develop and grow, which was amazing. Because after I would have gone back to work after a month. So we were kind of preparing. In my head, we were preparing to get us into a routine. So when I do go back to work, Molly would be able to have her days and be able to cope through them. So, but obviously that went out the window because I was put on furloughed. But then again, with that, it's hard because we didn't have the support. When nobody could come around and see us. We couldn't hand him over to our parents for an hour. We were just in it, and we had to do everything day in, day out, which was great, and we were really proud of ourselves that we could do that, because like, we never even got like an hour or two. I mean, obviously we got a night's sleep, of course, but during the day and every day we just had to just be there for him.
I mean, you obviously don't need to go into like detail on this, but like, with you and Molly in the relationship dynamic, has it been quite a strain? Has it been quite hard, or has it been way more flowing than you expected it to be?
Do you know what? Like, it's been good. Really? Yeah, I mean, like, we pretty much, we're attached to each other. Like, we literally, we're joined at the hip, me and Mol. So I mean, being with each other day in, day out was not a problem. The good thing for us was that our attention was fully focused on Arlo. So if anything, in a way, our relationship was kind of put to the side in a sense. I mean, like, we had like a date night every Saturday, but I think it was actually nice to have Arlo because we could put our full attention into him rather than kind of just being with each other. Because I think, I can understand like being in the same proximity as someone else for like 4 or 5 months. Like, it can be hard. So I think we were quite lucky in the sense we had Arlo there to kind of put our energy and focus into him. And then one night a week on a Saturday night, we'd get dressed up, and that would be our time.
Man.
Do you know what I mean?
Idea.
And that was lovely, and that kept us going. Do you know what I mean?
Do your philosophies align as well? I mean, I'm guessing you've been together a while, you've been married, and that, but like, in the way you want to raise your child, in the way you want Arlo to see the world, have you found conflicts at all in any moments where you're like, oh, I thought we were going to do this way?
Just trying to think. Not really. I mean, like, we're very different in the sense of that Molly's a warrior. She's a warrior, and I'm very relaxed. I'm very chilled.
It'll be right.
Yeah, exactly. That's my go-to line. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. It'll be fine. Do you know what I mean? And so, yeah, like, but with that mindset I have is that you've got to have some sort of compromise. So me just saying, yeah, it'll be all right. That's me almost kind of deflecting the issues that are going on. So, we're kind of the into each other's young. When she's a worry, I'll be like, it's okay, don't worry. The doctor said this, the midwife said this, if he's healthy, blah, 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 blah. So, do you know what I mean? Again, almost like that positive affirmations. Just affirming things, you know what I mean? And for Molly, though, she keeps me grounded in a sense of like, all the processes of doing things, like and she's
can't be so flippant.
Yeah, and she's very clever. Like, she's so clever, and she absorbs a lot of information. She's very, very good at processing that information and remembering that information. So she's always there, like, yeah, but this is, like, the reason why we're doing this is because of this. And like, she's an amazing mom. She's she's the reason why he's like he is, and he's such a lovely baby is, obviously it's a joint effort, but she's been such a great mom.
I met Mo once and I was just like, yeah, these perfect parents, right?
Yeah.
This is lovely. And just that attitude, and I felt that dynamic of what you're talking about there, like, you have different sides to you, but I could see how that would work perfectly in harmony as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's it. You've got to be. How's he doing?
He wants a bit more milk.
Does he want a bit more milk?
My knuckles.
Oh, is he? Oh, I say, do you want to?
Yes,
is that all right?
We're just going for a short break, kids. See you soon.
1 hour later, 2 hours later, 3 hours later.
Can you move it along? I'm all out of time card.
We're back. And now the dogs are going as well. Somebody's coming walking through here. What's happening on this farm, mate? Proper back of the bus session. So we were just saying about like your lessons now and that what you're picking up, and we will, because I don't want Arlo to be waiting all day. I want him to get home and get some rest. So
bless you, man.
if you just give me a little background into like what you have sort of gained from being a father now, and like, please help me out, mate.
Do you know what? Like, the one thing that I've learned is that you don't get a lot of time, but I've it's put things into perspective for me in terms of like how I want to be as a human and how I want to inspire him. Like, music is my passion, but since having him, I'm like, I want to do music. Like, because I want to create, and I want to have a purpose for when he's older to inspire him. Do you know what I mean? So like, for me, it's put my life into perspective more, and it's made me actually really cherish every bit of time that I have, and utilising that time. Do you know what I mean? Because I remember, like, you think when you were younger, like, I used to play FIFA all day, every day, just watch crap on TV. Mate. And now it's like I get 2 hours free, and I'm like there. Some nights, me and Molly will have our time. Other nights, 2 hours, right, music. Let's see what I can do. And I think it's having a child has definitely put my time into perspective. Do you know what I mean? And utilising my time. And I don't agree with people. When we've had this child, I don't agree with people saying like, oh, when you have a child, your life's over, or you do, you know what I mean? And everything that you want to do is put on the back burner. It's not true at all. If you want to achieve something, if you want to do something, you will find the time to do it.
Yeah. I don't think it's a good attitude to implement in front of your child. Like,
no, not at all.
When they're growing up and watching their dad, who's just become a figure that just, like, their life revolves around that baby, like, gives up all the passions, gives up all the enjoyment, escapism, everything, blows out the window just because they've built this mindset of, like, I need to do that now. Yeah. I think it's a really unhealthy mindset to watch and for the baby to see, because I know, like, you'll know that, like, monkey see, monkey do attitude. Yeah, 100%. If their dad's a doer and he's going out and he's performing and he's making a song or he's making an album or whatever your next steps are, I know you've got things cooking, man. You've always got things cooking, but that is such what's the word? Just an admirable or a beautiful achievement to be able to do that in conjunction of growing and
exactly. So I remember you said something really interesting to me is like, you can say to them, well, like, do what you want to do and do what you're passionate about, but then they could turn around and be like, but you but what you love, and you don't do that, like, or do you know what I mean? So it's not just about what you're doing, it's actually about your mindset and actually being, having that drive to do what you love, and that's the attitude and is what's going to inspire your children, not just what you're actually doing, but it's the drive and your passion. It's going to actually make them think, do you know what, my dad's is passionate about this, and he's always been passionate about this, that I want to have that same drive. I want to have that same passion for something that I love.
It doesn't have to be like the kid like watches you do music, so they're like, I'm a musician, but the thing they're experiencing and watching is passion. Seeing passion ingrained into their life and your life. So that's the thing that feeds the fire, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, from the president of where I work, he came up with amazing kind of quote. It's like, be the change you wish to see in others. And I think that's really, really important. Do you know what I mean?
I think he's nicked that.
Well, yeah, I know. Yeah, it wasn't one of his it was originals, but he did like a little slideshow, and one of those
Mahatma Gandhi, that was.
But that stuck out to me, and I was like, that's really true, and that's how I kind of try and live my life. As a dad, and also as a manager at work, and just as a person. Do you know what I mean? Because you can't act in one way and then expect people to act differently. Do you know what I mean? So it's mental, and it's hard, and it's just a crazy whirlwind to be a dad. But just don't get in your head too much. Do you know what I mean? I've been fortunate enough not to have mental health issues in my life, but so I can say that just trying to keep your head down and just try and stay positive, and always try and see the silver linings in things as well. That's what I've always tried to be like that, is see the silver linings in anything, whether it's positive or negative. I really think that's a good way to kind of live your life.
It's a great attitude to implement. It's the amount of people during COVID that have just been like, I won't swear, but it's a bad time, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm like, again, you're another attitude that I spoke to on the phone who said, well, yeah, it could be, or what about this and this and this, and like giving myself time to create and make. And that's sort of my first week of COVID was like, oh no, like the money, like everything's over. But then again, me and Chrissy sat down together and we were like, hang on a minute, like we can be really creative in this time. We can be really forward thinking and planning.
Absolutely. So, my mother-in-law said it's the age of the side hustle, because everybody that got put on furlough, everybody that had that time off, it was an opportunity for you to look at what you love doing and your passion and be like, right, I'm going to invest my time into it. So for me, it was great to have that time. Obviously, I had Arlo, so again, my time was limited, but I still had time in the afternoons and sometimes in the evenings when we put them down to go upstairs and do my music and write music. And I mean, to me, before lockdown, I couldn't really produce. That was like the one bit of area that I really, really wanted to kind of develop in. So I really kind of, I basically had all the gear of no idea really. So I was like, I wanted to spend that time during lockdown. I wanted to spend that time during lockdown kind of teaching myself how to not just write a track, but to actually produce a track. So that was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed doing that. And I feel like I'm at a point now. I mean, Liam, funkiest, he's the master producer. So
shout out funkiest.
So he's kind of taught me a lot. He's taught me a lot, not just how to produce, but to play guitar. He's a bit of a genius. He's not one of those really quiet people.
Yeah, he is.
You never know what he's doing.
Comes out with something like hilarious.
Yeah.
Every moment,
exactly.
Like, he's not said anything for like half an hour, and then everyone's in the bellies laughing, and it's just from something Liam said, a one-liner.
He pretty much just stays in his room every night, just making crazy electronic music.
I mean, what better way to spend it, mate? I'm sure that's not all he's doing in his room on his own.
No, definitely not. But I can't remember when off topic. But yeah, it's I saw lockdown as an opportunity, but I understand from some people that it wasn't the most inspiring time, which I understand. But yeah, I mean, it's just mental.
Most things are, though, a mindset, aren't they?
It is.
In anything in life that you go into, there is always a nuance. There's always a grey area. You don't have to go, this is great or this is terrible. You can go, what can I make out of this?
Yeah.
So if it's fatherhood, if it's a new music project, whatever it is, you've got to be the decider at the end of the day of how you look at that thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that in COVID times, in the new fatherhood for myself, like every moment of the way, I'm trying to, like you are, make it into your own story. Be the creator of it. You don't have to go off what everybody else says you should act like. You should be like this. You've just got to make it up on the spot for yourself. Wing it for you. Do your own story.
And trust your gut. Trust your instincts, and just go with it. And and I know you, and I know you're a very positive person, and just an energy, just an incredible energy to be around. So yeah, you'll be absolutely fine, mate.
I'm ready.
No doubt about that.
Honestly, man, I want to do this with you again.
Of course.
I really want to go into the music side of things, the projects.
Yes.
I know we're going to come up with some ideas together.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I've just got all the love in the world for you, man.
Bless you,
So
man. Thank you.
We'll let Arlo get some dinner.
Yeah. Oh, bless him. Yeah. I'll give him some more milk.
Guys, I think this is the perfect way to end a podcast like this. So you've been a part of the Back of the Bus Sessions podcast. Arlo is hungry. See you later.
See you later.